The social contexts of digital disparities. Welcome to this presentation on the social contexts of digital disparities. Digital disparities refer to unequal access to digital technologies and internet services that are influenced by various social factors such as income, education level, geographic location, race, gender, and disability. These inequalities impact people's ability to participate fully in modern society, from accessing educational resources to securing employment or engaging in social activities. In this presentation, we will explore how these disparities affect individuals' opportunities and discuss ways to address them for a more inclusive digital future. At the end of this presentation, you will be able to define equity in a digital context, recognizing the importance of fair access to digital technologies for all. Explain specific ways digital equity can contribute to creating a more inclusive digital environment that allows people from all backgrounds to fully participate in education, work, and social life. Understanding digital disparities. Digital disparities refer to the unequal access to digital tools, technologies, and the internet, which often results from social, economic, and geographic factors. These disparities create gaps in opportunities for individuals to benefit from educational, employment, and social resources that are increasingly dependent on digital access. Key insight. As technology becomes more integral to daily life, those without adequate access to the internet and digital tools are increasingly left behind, unable to fully engage in education, remote work, healthcare services, or social networks. Example. During the COVID-19 pandemic, many students from low-income households experienced the homework gap, where they lacked the necessary technology or internet access to participate in online learning, deepening educational inequalities. The role of socioeconomic status. Income gaps. Lower-income households face significant challenges in accessing digital resources. The cost of computers, smartphones, and monthly internet bills often makes it impossible for these families to stay connected to the digital world. This not only affects students but also adults who need internet access for job searching, remote work, or accessing essential services. Example. In the U.S., approximately 18 million people live in areas without reliable broadband internet access, with low-income households disproportionately affected. Detroit, for instance, struggles with a major digital divide, where 40% of households lack access to high-speed internet. Impact. This digital exclusion limits opportunities for education, economic mobility, and social engagement, exacerbating existing socioeconomic inequalities. Educational influence. People with lower levels of education often have reduced digital literacy skills, which makes navigating the internet, using digital tools, or understanding online services more difficult. This can limit their ability to take advantage of online learning opportunities or use digital platforms for professional growth. Example. Schools in underfunded districts may lack the technology infrastructure needed to properly prepare students for a digital workforce. This can leave students without the necessary skills to thrive in a modern, tech-driven economy. Solution. Initiatives like One Laptop Per Child, OLPC, work to address this gap by providing low-cost laptops to children in developing countries, giving them access to digital learning tools that foster educational growth. The geographic divide in digital connectivity. Urban versus rural divide. People living in rural areas often face significant digital barriers due to a lack of infrastructure. This can mean slower internet speeds or no connectivity at all, leaving them with fewer opportunities to engage in digital education, remote work, or online services. Example. In the U.S., 65% of households in rural areas have access to broadband internet, compared to 97% of urban households. This disparity is even starker in developing countries, where rural regions may have no digital infrastructure at all. Case study. In Kenya, only 16% of rural households have access to the internet. Efforts to expand broadband infrastructure have been slow, and this lack of connectivity affects everything from education to healthcare. Racial inequalities in digital access. Impact of race. Systemic racial inequalities also influence access to digital tools and technology. Historically marginalized racial groups often have less access to digital resources due to the compounding effects of economic inequality, housing segregation, and educational disparities. Example: in the US, 66% of black households have broadband internet access, compared to 79% of white households. This digital divide contributes to widening gaps in education, employment, and income levels. Solution: digital inclusion programs like those led by the National Digital Inclusion Alliance, NDI, work to bring digital services to underserved communities, helping to bridge the racial digital divide. Gender and digital disparities, the gender gap in digital access. Gender divide: women, particularly in developing countries, face more barriers to digital access than men. This can be due to cultural norms, limited financial independence, or societal expectations that prioritize men's access to technology. Example: in regions like Sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia, women are 20% less likely than men to own a mobile phone. This lack of access limits women's opportunities to engage in digital learning, entrepreneurship, or access financial services. Case study. In India, initiatives like the Digital Empowerment Foundation are working to close the gender-digital divide by providing women with internet access and training in digital skills, empowering them to participate in the digital economy. Disabilities and digital access. Ensuring digital accessibility for people with disabilities. Accessibility barriers. Many digital platforms are not designed to accommodate individuals with disabilities, such as visual impairments, mobility challenges, or cognitive disabilities. This makes it difficult for these individuals to access online resources, including job portals, educational platforms, and social networks. Example: websites that lack accessibility features like screen readers, keyboard navigation, or voice command tools are often unusable for people with disabilities. This digital exclusion adds another layer of inequity. Solution: the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, WCAG, provide standards for making websites and apps accessible to all users, ensuring that no one is left behind in the digital world. Disparities and employment. How digital access affects employment opportunities. Employment impact. People without access to the internet or digital tools are at a significant disadvantage in the modern job market, where digital literacy and remote work capabilities are increasingly important. From applying for jobs online to participating in virtual interviews, lack of access hinders employment opportunities. Example: many rural and low-income workers are unable to apply for jobs because they lack access to job portals or digital resume-building tools. Solution: free online learning platforms like Coursera and edX provide access to essential job training and digital literacy skills, helping individuals bridge the gap and gain relevant skills. Digital disparities and education. How digital inequities affect educational opportunities. Impact on learning. Students without access to computers or reliable internet connections face significant challenges in their education, particularly as more learning is conducted online. This is especially true in rural or low-income areas, where schools may lack the resources to provide adequate technology for their students. Example: in Sub-Saharan Africa, less than 15% of students have access to the internet at home, significantly limiting their ability to engage with digital learning platforms or educational resources. Case study. The Bridge International Academies in Kenya and Uganda provide low-cost, tablet-based education, helping students in remote areas access digital learning despite infrastructure challenges. Digital disparities and social engagement. Digital access and participation in social life. Social exclusion. Without access to digital tools, individuals are cut off from social networks, online communities, and even essential services like telehealth. The elderly, in particular, face challenges with digital exclusion, as they may lack both the devices and the digital literacy to stay connected. Example: during the COVID-19 pandemic, elderly individuals who lacked access to smartphones or video calling apps were unable to maintain connections with family members, exacerbating feelings of isolation. Solution: organizations like AARP are helping seniors bridge the digital gap by providing training programs that teach them how to use technology effectively for communication and accessing online services. Case study: bridging the digital divide in Detroit, community-driven solutions. Problem: Detroit, Michigan, has one of the lowest rates of internet connectivity in the U.S. due to high poverty levels and aging infrastructure. Many residents are unable to afford high-speed internet, leaving them disconnected from educational, employment, and healthcare resources. Solution: the Detroit Community Technology Project has been working to provide internet access to underserved communities through mesh networks and digital literacy training. Outcome: these initiatives have significantly improved connectivity in low-income neighborhoods, allowing more people to engage with online resources and opportunities. Addressing digital disparities. Strategies to overcome digital disparities. 1. Government initiatives. Governments can prioritize digital equity by investing in broadband infrastructure in underserved areas, offering subsidies for internet access, and implementing digital literacy programs in schools and community centers. 2. Public-private partnerships. Collaboration between governments, NGOs, and tech companies can help expand digital access. Google's Project Loon, for example, uses high-altitude balloons to provide internet in remote areas. 3. Community-driven programs. Local initiatives play a key role in empowering communities to access the internet. Programs that offer low-cost internet services or provide free digital literacy training help close the gap. The role of digital literacy. Empowering communities through digital literacy. Importance of digital literacy. Teaching individuals how to effectively use digital tools is critical for ensuring they can fully participate in education, employment, and civic engagement. Example: the Digital Literacy Foundation offers training programs that help low-income communities build the skills needed to access and navigate the digital world. These programs provide step-by-step guidance on using online resources for job searching, education, and communication. Building an inclusive digital landscape. Fostering inclusivity in digital spaces. Inclusive design. Websites and digital platforms should be designed with inclusivity in mind, ensuring that they accommodate the needs of people with different backgrounds and abilities. Features like screen readers, keyboard navigation, and voice recognition tools are essential for creating a more accessible digital landscape. Case study: the Digital Empowerment Foundation in India works to build internet hubs in rural areas, providing internet access and digital literacy training for marginalized communities. These hubs allow underserved populations to connect to the global digital economy. The importance of public policy. The role of policy makers in promoting digital equity. Government's role. Public policy plays a crucial role in ensuring equitable access to digital tools and internet services. Governments can create programs that make internet access affordable for low-income households and mandate inclusivity standards for websites and digital platforms. Example: the U.S. Broadband Infrastructure Grant Program provides funding to expand broadband access in rural and underserved areas, helping to reduce geographic digital disparities. Summary and key takeaways. Recap of key insights. Digital disparities are driven by social factors such as income, education, race, and geography, and they have significant impacts on education, employment, and social engagement. Key insight. Addressing these disparities requires coordinated efforts from governments, communities, and tech companies to create a more inclusive digital future. Final thought. Promoting digital equity is essential for ensuring that everyone, regardless of their background, can benefit from the opportunities of the digital age. Open source educational resources. To continue learning about digital equity and how to address digital disparities, here are some open source educational resources you can explore. European Commission, Digital Economy and Society. Provides insights into the Digital Economy and Society Index, DESI, which tracks the digital performance of EU countries and their progress in digitalization. European Digital Competence Framework, DIGCOMP. The EU's framework to improve citizens' digital competence, including tools to assess and develop digital skills. All Digital. A pan-European association that supports digital inclusion and empowerment, providing digital literacy resources and tools for marginalized groups across Europe. Digital Skills and Jobs Platform. An EU initiative offering digital skills training, job resources, and tools to bridge the digital divide in Europe, including free courses and learning materials. One Laptop per Child Europe. A European arm of the global initiative that provides low-cost laptops and digital learning tools to children across underserved European regions. Europena. A platform funded by the EU, offering open access to millions of digitized items, texts, images, and multimedia, for education and digital learning across Europe. Coursera, free digital skills courses. A global platform offering free and low-cost digital skills courses, including many from European universities and institutions.